Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be using some of the great new products from Art Love Journal, Claire Stead and Funky Fossil Designs. So Claire has released a whole heap of new products including stamps and stencils with an English company called Funky Fossil Designs, and for those of you in Australia who are wanting to get your hands on them, if you go to nataliemay.com, she supplies them. Claire sends out worldwide as well. But you don't need them for this page. If you've got a face stencil of any sort, it will work. So use what you've got. I'm just starting off in the background with some different colours. I decided to go for pinky purpley warm colours in the background, which is, well, I do like them, but particularly putting the orange on, it's a little bit un-me, but I was just playing around with new colour scheme and I actually quite like it, so it's one I would possibly use in the future. You can sort of see I've got the clip at the top just to keep everything where it's supposed to be. I'm just sort of spreading out my paint all over just to create a really, really quick background. Once I've done that, I'm going to put some stenciling in the background. This is another one of Claire's stencils with a lot of mark making on it, and I'm using contrasting colour. So because I had all the warm colours in the background, I'm going in with a little bit of turquoise, and you can see how well that sort of stands out against the background. And like much of my mark making, if I was doing this by hand, I would sort of be, dripping it down across the page like this, so you've got a bit of an idea of where how to lead your eye across a page. So again, going in with the cooler blue colour and putting that little bit of brickwork in here as well. So just adding a little bit of interest to the background. Once I've got all that dry, then I will put in my stenciling. No, I'm going to do some stamping. Sorry, got carried away. So going in with some of these mark making stamps again from Claire. This is using the white unicorn ink from, I was going to say Ranger, it's from Hero Arts. If you didn't have mark making stamps, just draw it in yourself with your pens, pencils, whatever you've got. These things are great, but if they're, can't think of the words to say, blah, blah, blah. Having stamps and stencils and all these things are fantastic, but it's also possible to do it by hand. So don't ever feel that you have to have everything. If you've got a pen, if you've got a paintbrush, you can do this yourself too. A lot of the shapes are really, really simple. However, I know some people really struggle with doing their own mark making, so having stamps and stencils that can help you do that is a really handy tool to have. You can see I'm sort of putting everything in the kitchen sink on this page just because I can. I was just having fun creating a background. So I'd ordered all these products from Natalie, and I just want to use them all on a page to sort of see how they work. This is me swatching, basically getting all my stuff out and seeing what works, what doesn't, how's it all going to work together. So onto the face. I am going in and drawing it through using my Stabilo Wall pencil. So just really roughly where it's going to be, because I'm going to stencil over the top of this once I've finished doing this initial coat. The only reason I've got the lines and pencil there is so I've got a bit of an idea of where the face is going to be. By using the Stabilo Oil pencil too, one, I use it because it's water soluble, but that also sort of blends in and gives you sort of these natural shadowy colours where you need to put some extra depth and shading too. So I find it sort of has twofold purpose for me. Once I have put the base coat on, then I'm going to go back in and stencil in the important parts of the face. Again, just really lightly, because I'm still going to be adding colour over the top of this, so you don't need to be very particular with it. You can see I've also added on some hair at the top as well, so I can work out how high up the page I'm going to go. Now I'm going in and adding some shading to my face using my gloss sprays, so just building up layer after layer. And I've found when I'm trying to get more realistic skin tones that I find this process a lot easier because the layers are translucent. So I can sort of see, I can put down a thin layer and then add a little bit more and add a little bit more and build up that way. When I use straight paints, I tend to work in the same way, in the fact that I only ever put out a little bit of paint and I build it up. But it's always going to be a little bit more opaque than using sort of these almost like glazes that you're laying over the top of each other. You can obviously use watercolors if you've got those. But with watercolors, if you're building up, like, you can build up layers with watercolors. I'm not a huge watercolor expert, but obviously they are water soluble, so you know, putting one layer on top of the other may move colors underneath. Whereas with the gloss sprays, because they are acrylic based, once they're dry, they are permanent, so they're not going to move too much. So once I've sort of got a base coat of a colour on, now I'm going to go in with my Distress watercolour crayons, or pencils, sorry, I keep calling them crayons, they're pencils, and add in some texture and some colour using the pencils. See, did it again. I really love the look of this, how you get that sort of scribbly line over the top, and again, just that extra bit of texture on the image itself. I just really enjoy that. I don't like things that are too flat. It's just my personal preference, so if you like things looking really smooth, go for it. But I quite like having a bit of depth to it. With the hair, I went in with my turquoise, and I'm just drawing over the top of all that colour underneath. So again, you're getting an idea of there's something underneath here. You've got a few different colours. You don't have to work very hard to get that depth. You can see by adding in the different shades of the blues on top, I can sort of create those layers as well. Also using a bit of a paint pen to make sure the eyes are a real focus. And like with many of these faces that I do, it's not until you sort of get the eyes finished that it sort of all starts to come together a little bit. Just to push the face out from the background somewhat, I've just put a little bit of a shadow around the outside of her, again using my Stabilo Oil pencil. Just creates a really nice natural shadow that you can use in the background. And I'm going to go in and pop a quote onto her neck. I decided to use a smaller one because why not? So I'm just going in and placing that on using my archival ink. I'm really having problems thinking today. So keep looking where the light pours in. I really like that. So you've got lots of, you know, with the yellowy tones in there, that warmth coming in, sort of echoing the light coming in. Once I've done that, I'm going back in and just putting a little bit of a shadow or a highlight on my letters, again just to pop them out from the background. So putting shadows and highlights on either your figures, your focal images, or on your letters just really helps to finish them off that little bit, and it will make a huge difference to your final piece. You can also just over prime your pen and, you know, create a big blob on the hair, but that's a good thing about working with acrylics. You can wipe it off using your wet wipes, which is really, really handy. With the crosses at the top, I just had to add in some extra stamping there because it wasn't it was just sort of floating in thin air, and it was really, really bugging me. So I quite often, when I'm doing mic making, if you go back and have a look at a few of my mic making videos, they're always connected to the edge in some way. And it's a really good way to make sure that everything's a little bit grounded and where it needs to be on the page. Finally, I'm just going in with my chunky woody Stabilo oil pencils. These are just like the watercolor pencils I was using before. They're just really, the kids' pencils are nice and chunky and really, really waxy. So not waxy, sort of creamy, and they blend really nicely. So you get that beautiful double hit of colour. So you can see here, you can see those layers, how they've built up with the paint underneath, then the glazes over the top, and then the colour pencil over the top, how that fun background helps to frame and push out the image. So I hope you have a go at using stencils to create an image. Creates a lot of fun effects and is a great way to practice drawing faces. Until next time, bye for now.